y'all, I'm coming to y'all today to actually do a military spouse tag. I thought it would be fun to do one since I am a military wife and I have been one for quite a while now. So I just thought that I would jump right on in and start this off with you. Okay, so how did you and your spouse meet? We met in the 11th grade. Our junior year in high school. He used to sit directly next to me in class, and he really out like he didn't have time of day for me back in the day, because he said that he just really didn't understand why dudes was sweating me because I was not all that and blah 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 blah. Well, one day particularly, he paid some notice to me, and I had got up to turn in a assignment, and he made mention to me that when I got up, he's like, "You jiggling, baby?" And I was like, "Excuse me, I'm what?" And he was like, "You jiggling?" And I'm like, he was like, "Your ass." What a great way to get a woman's attention. Well, from that point on, he really did start paying me some attention. By, he asked me on the bus one day, could he get my phone number and could he call me? And I gave him the wrong number the first time. Then the very next day, he asked me, why did I give him the wrong number? Rocky! He asked me why did I give him the wrong number, and I said because I thought he was playing. So to make a long story short, I did end up calling him, and I did end up becoming really good friends with him at the time. Rocky! So we became friends, and because at the time I already had a boyfriend, so it wasn't gonna work at the time. And it was literally like a whole year, maybe a whole year had went by that we were friends, and he had a girlfriend during the time and I had a boyfriend, and it just seemed like timing was never right for us, because when I didn't have a boyfriend, that's when he would have a girlfriend, and vice versa. And then so finally one day I asked him would he like to go to the prom with me, to my senior prom, and he was ecstatic about going. And the deal was that if he went with me, I had to go with him. So it worked out for the best, and lo and behold, James and Stephanie actually was born. Okay. How old were you when you two met? I was 17 and he was 18. How long have we been together? We've been married for 21 years and we've been together for 23 years. So yeah, we've been rolling with each other for a minute. And when I say we ride or die, baby, we ride or die. Best believe that. Okay. Where are you and your spouse originally from? Originally, I am from Hollywood, Florida, and my husband is from Miami, Florida. Where we actually lived in those two cities distance was not a whole lot. Like literally from where we live, like he could be to my house in like 15 minutes. Not even 15 minutes. Let's just say 10 minutes. Because we lived on the county line that separates Dade County from Broward County. So yeah. How did you feel about him joining the military? I was dead set against it when he mentioned to me, after we had been dating for about 2 years, he mentioned to me that he was going to join the Army. I was not happy about it. I was dead set against it. I just told him that I had already had an experience with a boyfriend or boyfriends that had went to the military, and it just didn't work out. They always lie and tell you they're gonna send for you and all of this crap, and they get where they're going. And in my case, one went to California, And he met somebody, and his mama was happy that he met somebody because she said that he needed to get over me. And then the other guy, he had got stationed in Japan, and he met someone else too. So I just told him that I wasn't interested in that lifestyle, so I would pass. And he told me that he wasn't gonna do this without me. Granted, you know, we had a daughter at the time. We had just had her, so we had Jasmine in January and of 94, and he joined the military May of 94. So yeah. But I can say this, after he joined and after he was in for at least a year, I could see this is like a lifestyle for us, just because he loved what he did. Something that we both always discussed prior to getting married is that we wanted to travel, and what better way to travel than on Uncle Sam's dime? Word, you hear me? Hello, relocating every 3 years and stuff like that. It just worked out perfectly. So I was against it in the beginning, but a year after he was in, I enjoyed it. Our first studio assignment was Hawaii, so yeah, go figure. Where did your spouse go to basic training? My husband went to basic training in Fort Benning, Georgia. When he first joined the military, he actually was an infantryman. So yeah, that's where they train, and he is airborne as well. So yeah, that's where he went to basic training at. Has your spouse... Okay, the next question, has your spouse ever been deployed? Yes, he has. He's been deployed twice. He was deployed the first time, I want to say in 2003, and then the second time he was deployed in 2006. Both times he deployed to Afghanistan. The first deployment lasted 9 months, and the second deployment was 18 months. The worst 4 years I can honestly say of our 21-year marriage was the 4 years that he was actually stationed in Fort Drum, New York, and he refused to take us with him because he said that he knew I would be miserable being at least 24 hours away from any of my family. So we actually stayed in North Carolina when he got levied and reassigned to Fort Drum, New York. 2 weeks after he got there, he got deployed. So he knew what he was talking about. And he said he wanted to come home to his wife. So it was a hard 4 years, but we got through it. Ever been to his promotion ceremony? I have actually been to all of my husband's promotion ceremonies, and actually I was the one who actually pinned his rank on, and I punched him in the chest. Yes, I did. But I've been to every single one of them, and he has always wanted me to be the one to pin his new rank on. So currently he is an E7, so I've done that 7 times. Okay. How long have you been a military wife? I have been a military wife the duration of our military career. He has been in for 21 years. We have been married for 21 years, and we have a 21-year-old daughter. So go figure. Okay. How long? No. Sorry. Did you marry him before or after he joined? Actually, we got married before. We got married on May 21st, 1994, and he actually joined the military on May 23rd, 1994. So 2 days after our wedding, he was being shipped off to basic training. Go figure, honey. How did your husband propose? He proposed to me on May 12th, the same year, 1994, a week prior to him getting ready to leave. He wanted to propose to me in front of our entire family at a party that his mother was having, and I was being uncooperative that night. This was the one night in history that Stephanie did not feel like dancing, so he was waiting. That was the cue for me to be on the dance floor, and he was going to ask me to marry him then. However, that never happened because I never got my ass up to get on the dance floor to dance. Yet I told him I was ready to go home, and he said I was not going to mess up his plans. So we made a detour, and he took me to the beach, and we walked on the beach, and yes, I still was being uncooperative. He was trying to make it so romantic by, asking me, it was a beautiful night, we was looking at a cruise ship that was actually, going by on the harbor and stuff, and I was acting like a straight stank ass biatch that night. I was. And finally he was like, let's go. And as we was getting ready to walk back to the car, he stopped and he asked me to sit down on one of the loungers that was on the beach. And when I saw him get down on his knees, I knew that's what he was about to ask me. He asked me would I give him the honor of being his wife, and for just I did 10 seconds, I just wanted to like capture the whole moment, and I paused and I just looked at him, and he was like, please don't say no. And I was like, no, I would not say no. I was like, yes. And okay, then the bitch left the room because I was happy-go-lucky then. I wasn't feeling good that night, but for the most part, I'm kind of glad it went the way it did, because it was more intimate, and it was just me and him that shared that experience, and I didn't have to deal with all the questions and stuff after the fact. So I'm happy how it did, even though it didn't go as he planned, but it still turned out to be a memorable event. The next question is, where did you get married? We actually got married at my aunt's house, and we actually had a garden wedding. It was outdoors. It was a beautiful day. All of our close friends and family were there, and we got married on a budget. And I promise you, it baffles me how people spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, some millions, okay, on weddings, and then they don't freaking last. I can say that we spent less than $1,000 on our wedding. It was intimate. It was recorded. Photographs and everything were taken. It was simple, but it was very memorable. And if I had to do it all over again the first time, I would want it to be just like it was, because we didn't go in debt in the beginning of our marriage trying to get married, because we're trying to buy expensive ass dresses and all that crap. And basically, weddings are thrown for the people who come in, not really for you. It's basically you are living your dream, but yet you paying a pretty penny to do that. And yeah, Stephanie is all about the frugal life. I'm sorry. Okay, how old were you two when you got married? I was 19 and he was 20, and a couple months later I turned 20 and he turned 21. Did he wear his uniform on his wedding day? No, because I just said he joined the military on the 23rd and we got married on the 21st. He had on a black tux and he was so sharp, okay? Where are you and your spouse currently stationed? Currently, we are stationed in New Jersey, and we wanted New York. My husband tried to get us New York. I ain't talking about upstate New York, like New York City, because he asked me if this is our last hoorah with the Army before he retires. He asked me where would I want to go, and we've always joked and kidded around about living in New York. Why not go live in New York on the dime of the military, okay? They pay for housing and pay for you to move and stuff like that. So that's kind of getting that life, and you don't have to commit to it right off the rip. But currently we are in New Jersey, and I am loving being a skip and a hop away from New York City and Philly. Hello. Do you live on base? Currently we do live on base, and we actually live in a historic home on Officers Row, and they have like really like upkept the maintenance on these homes. So it is a 3-level house, and it is very, very, very spacious. I thumbs up this. How long were you married when you had to go through your first separation? We were married 10 and a half, going on 11 years, and that's when he had got orders to go to Fort Drum, New York. And the whole 4 years we lived in North Carolina, and he went to New York alone. Like I said, 2 weeks later he was deployed, and he was gone for 9 months. Our marriage was, that was the biggest test of our marriage, those 4 years that we were separated. And if I was to give any advice, I'm gonna have to say this: every member of our family, it's 4 of us plus the dog, okay, every member of our family went through some type of moment when our family was not complete. It started with me and it ended with my husband. Our kids was acting out during this time frame and stuff like that. So that was the biggest test of our marriage, and we managed to make it work, and we got through it, and actually it made us better than we were before, stronger. What is your favorite base so far? I would have to say my favorite, not my base, because we've only lived on base twice, and this is the second time in our 21-year time frame. But I would have to say the best place that we have been assigned was Atlanta, Georgia, and my least favorite was Fort Bragg, North Carolina. There is absolutely nothing freaking there in Fayetteville, okay? I hated Fort Bragg. My husband thought I would probably say something like Valdosta, Georgia, but Valdosta was a peace. It made me get at peace with myself, and it was actually with me, first time in our military career. This is the first time that we moved, and I actually didn't move and transfer with my job. So moving to Valdosta, Georgia at the time, there was nothing available for me to work. It's like third poorest city in the country, okay? And I decided then that that's when I was going to open my own business, and it's something that I have always wanted to do, and God made it to where I could do it, and I'm happy that I did. I'm in such a much more happier place in my life right now. I like being my own boss. I've always liked being my own boss, and that God just blessed me with that that peace of mind. So worst, Fort Bragg; favorite, Atlanta, Georgia. Do you think your spouse looks good in his uniform? Hell yeah, he looks good. Girl, I could eat him up when he in that uniform, okay? Do you think military life is more advanced than civilian life? I'm gonna say I just think it is. It just depends on. It just depends. That's a crazy question to ask, but it just depends. Me being a civilian in the workforce and my husband being a soldier, we're actually able to bounce off of each other when it comes to like career paths and stuff like that. But I can't really say who's more advanced. Do you like the benefits you receive as a military dependent? Hell yeah. Hello. I'm not looking forward to when he retire having to pay for medical and having that come out, you know, payroll checks and stuff like that. The best benefits, you get the best doctors. We've had the blessing of being able to go off base. This past 3 years, we've actually been going to doctor on base. But you just get the best of both worlds. Free prescriptions, you know, discounts and all that shebang. Yeah, benefits is off the chain. Hello.